before I get into this story, I just want to say that none of these stories are to encourage anybody to do anything. Don't do something just because it's in my video, all that. So, this story takes place back in high school, back when I was a little bit of a druggie, a little bit more of a druggie, I guess. And I was 16, and I was interested in spirituality, and that led me to be into psychedelics and healing the mind through psychedelics, and I was interested in psychedelics, to say the least. So when my friend in one of my classes told me they had some magic mushrooms, I was really excited. And I had never taken them before. I had heard about them and heard stories of people taking them and read trip reports on Reddit and stuff like that. But I never really knew anybody who took them or sold them or had any. So I was excited, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, which is why I had gotten scammed in the first place, because I don't know, I guess they assumed I was stupid or something, because they had ripped me off before. They had sold me a fake tab of acid, and I have another story down the road about that. But basically, they just gave me a piece of paper that was really small and was wrapped in tin foil. And they said it was acid, and I bought it. And then I got home, and I put it in my mouth and ingested it, and nothing happened to me. So I don't know why I had bought from them again. They were also charging me $15 a G, which is bad. But back then, I was really shy, I guess, and I didn't really have a lot of friends that were weed people or did stuff like that, or knew people who did stuff like that. So whenever I got an opportunity for something like shrooms or acid, I wasn't going to refuse. So I took it, and that's led to some bad outcomes, just getting ripped off. I mean, I guess worse things could happen. I honestly think that the worst thing that could happen to you while taking shrooms, besides like having an absolutely bad trip on them and just feeling absolutely shitty because of them, just for whatever reason, just because that's how your body is reacting to it. I feel like other than that, the worst thing that could happen to you is your dealer giving you some bunk shrooms, giving you some shrooms that are not magic mushrooms, and they could be poisonous for all you know. Like, they just threw some mushrooms in their backyard into a bag and sold it to you just because they wanted to make some money. So, I don't know, I feel like there could be some people in the world like that. I don't know, maybe I think I had heard somebody on the internet talking about that, but that might be some crazy anti-drug propaganda that is just to scare people. So you always gotta be careful and trust who you're getting it from. Let them take pictures of it and show it to you. Make sure you have a little bit of prior knowledge as to what magic mushrooms look like. There's not a lot of species of them, but there's still a lot that you should familiarize yourself with them and make sure you're getting what you had paid for. So on this day, I had agreed to meet up with this girl in her neighborhood, and her neighborhood is a 6-mile bike ride there and back, 6 miles in total. And I had to meet her in her neighborhood at her park, and riding my bike 6 miles was kind of exhausting, but I was ready. I wanted to try these shrooms. I was ready. I think it was maybe my second time trying them, and I was excited. I was down. I was waiting. I had been waiting a couple days before actually going to see her. And I get to the neighborhood, and the person that was in my class that told me about them, she texts me and she's like, well, you're not meeting me, you're meeting my friend. And that was a little sketchy to me. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. And back then, I didn't know that that was something that was sketchy or something I should look out for being ripped off or scammed or whatever. So I'm waiting at this park. I'm sitting on the bench. I'm sitting there for a good while. It must have been like 45 minutes. And I remember my phone was almost dying. So I had literally ran over to Walmart that was like a mile and a half away from where I had biked. And I was charging my phone on the display laptops. Like, I literally plugged in my USB charger and plugged my phone into those laptops. And it was charging my phone. My phone was charging at a very, very slow pace. But eventually I got my phone up to enough of a percent that it was going to turn on, and I could text them and see what was going on. And they weren't even there yet. I don't know what they were doing, but they took forever to see me. And I got my phone charged up a little more, waited a little more, and then I went back to the park. I rode my bike all the way back over there, and I was just absolutely exhausted. And I waited a little longer, and finally she texts me. She's like, yeah, I'm down the street. So then I wait like 5 more minutes, and then she finally arrives. And on the phone, I had thought it was going to be an older lady because I had called her. My other friend from class told me to call her, so I had called her. And she just sounded like this older grown woman in her 30s or 40s, but when I had met her, she was like my age. She was a teenager, so that was kind of shocking to me. And I hand her the money. She hands me the bag, and I put it in my jacket pocket. And the bag looked a little big. It felt a little big, but I figured it was just the packaging. I didn't realize that she'd given me so many mushrooms that were not magic mushrooms. And she walks away. I ride home. I think nothing of it. And then I open the bag when I get home. And I'm like, wait a minute, these don't really look like magic mushrooms. What is this? So I text the girl from school. I'm like, these don't look like magic mushrooms. And maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but she's like, yeah, they're Cubanesis or whatever the heck she said. And they didn't look like that, but I was too shy, so I didn't say anything. I didn't want to start any drama or anything, so at this point of the day, I'm researching them, and I'm trying to figure out what kind they are. I'm typing in what shape they are, and the color, and how big they are, and hours and hours and hours later of researching mushrooms, I finally conclude that they were, I don't remember the exact name, because this happened like 4 years ago. And they ended up being this edible mushroom. I've never heard of them before, but you could eat them. People ate them. They like fried them and ate them. That's what it said on the website. But I didn't want to eat them. I just threw them away. And yep, that's pretty much it for the story. It was pretty disappointing that I didn't get the trip. I was really looking forward to it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and peace.